The story begins on a bright sunny day. Izzy, our ugly, disgusting, lonely loser protagonist, always has his headphones on like he thinks he's some kind of DJ, and he is bored to his core. He racks his slow-moving brain for new ideas to cure his boredom, but none come to mind, so he continues to waste his useless life. Eventually he gives up, wishing he could trade his boredom for money, or a girlfriend he could develop plot with, or unlimited AniCap videos. Suddenly, a group of random bullies, just like they're from the 90s, harass a helpless teenager. These demented assholes take it even further as they demand the boy strip down to his birthday suit and jump in the river. The ringleader must have some serious issues at home because he suggests tying the kid's hands, leaving the boy screaming for help, desperate for someone to intervene. Izzy, wearing headphones so big it looks like he's trying to get Wi-Fi signals from space, has his tranquil moment shattered by these fatherless bullies from broken homes. Determined to teach them a lesson, DJ Izzy stands up unnoticed and grabs a few rocks. Being a top G alpha teenager, he reveals himself to the bullies. Using his psychic powers, Izzy hurls the pebbles at an alarming rate, resembling fiery projectiles. Our boy lights the place up with his immense power and states that he can keep it up all day if he wants. The bullies run home to wait for their dads to come back from getting the milk, and the nerd they were picking on goes off to begin his villain arc. While Izzy succeeded in teaching the bullies a lesson, he also destroyed the beautiful scenery. Just as he frowns about his returning boredom and horribly pointless life, a strange letter falls from the sky. Meanwhile, inside a noble estate, some spoiled brat named Asuka, who is dressed like a flight attendant, enters her room and finds a similar letter. In that instant, the rich girl's maid knocks on the door with Asuka's favorite cold drink that will hopefully keep her from being so annoying. Asuka, suspicious about the letter, asks her maid if she saw anyone entering her room. The maid gently clarifies that her room was locked. However, due to her suspicious nature, and because she is Asuka activates her powers and commands the maid to reveal the truth. Oblivious to Asuka's powers, the maid gives the same reply, as no one has a key other than Asuka. In the park, some hippie named Yu becomes one with nature by staring at a bunch of birds like she is Cinderella. Her cat brings her a strange letter, and she is somehow able to read her cat's mind as he tells her that the letter is from the sky. Upon opening it, she, Izzy, and Asuka suddenly find themselves in the sky. They freefall without parachutes and scream for their lives as they will soon become flattened out human pancakes, but luckily they land safely in a pond. After drying off, the three introduce themselves. Izzy acts like the typical cool guy and quickly pegs Asuka as being from a rich family, while Yu remains a mystery. Similarly, the girls recognize Izzy as the self-assured top G because of his mean-looking eyes and dangerously cool stance. Our boy Izzy doesn't run from the accusations and even leans into it as he calls himself hedonistic and the worst type of person there is. Izzy proves to actually be an ugly, corny loser as he states that if they play with fire, they're going to get burned. As they exchange pleasantries, they show how skilled they are as creep hunters. Some girl has been acting like a weird stalker hiding in the bushes, but they all were able to sense her. The bunny girl, known as Black Rabbit, refuses to reveal herself, forcing Izzy to take drastic action. Initially, they mistake her for a weeb cosplayer who loves running out in the middle of nowhere playing adventure. Our group hates furries more than anything in the world, so they all try to send her to God. Yu thinks she is some kind of cat, and Asuka can somehow control birds. Once they catch Rabbit Girl, they each take turns yanking on her ears and realize that this loser stalker is actually a demi-human. Black Rabbit eventually spills her bunny beans, disclosing their transportation to Little Garden, a fantasy realm where gifted individuals like them engage in games for various prizes and bets. The powers they have are actually gifts given to them by various war gods, demons, spirits, and stars. These games, called gift games, are competitive games that make use of those blessings, even betting with them. The games range from being difficult and life-threatening to simple lotteries. Residents of this world must be a part of a community, and there are many in this world. There is actually a whole bunch of complicated stuff to know, but there's no better way to learn than to practice. Black Rabbit conjures a poker table, asserting she'll test their aptitude. She wouldn't mind letting them join the community she is in, but they can't waste resources on losers, so the test begins. The group of overpowered ugly losers wonder what will happen if they don't want to participate, and the bunny tells them that they can leave if they please. Externally, she exudes confidence, but internally, she's trembling like a bunny stationed at the North Pole. If these kids get pissed and leave, she will be in big trouble. Black Rabbit lays out face down cards, instructing them to try to choose face cards and warning against cheating, revealing that her senses are linked with the little garden's cheat decision maker. They only get one chance and each person can only pick one card. Izzy asks about betting chips, but Black Rabbit points out that since this is their first time, she will allow them to bet pride instead. As a servant of God, this bunny will do anything they please if they win. Our sleazy protagonist gets some crazy plot developing ideas, but Black Rabbit makes it clear that the prize is anything but that. She wants them to sign a contract, but they want to have a look at the cards first. Though they examine the cards openly, they discreetly mark them because they are clever little rascals. Being the most arrogant MC in anime history, Izzy eagerly volunteers to play first without hesitation. The little scumbag swiftly slams his hand on a card, causing a whole bunch of other cards on the table to turn face up. Both Asuka and Yu take advantage, choosing face cards that have already been revealed. Black Rabbit erupts, accusing the dirtbag Izzy of cheating. However, Izzy argues that each participant picked one card, following the rules. She then decides to contact the authorities with her ears. They confirm that Izzy didn't break any rules, but she points out that he hasn't won yet. With a confident grin, our arrogant headphones-wearing protagonist flips over the king of clubs, winning the game. As the game concludes, Izzy amazingly reveals that he memorized the position of all 52 cards. Izzy might be the reincarnation of Einstein as he starts flipping over cards after already knowing what they are. The girls are glad they won, but voice their frustration since his Genius 300 IQ brain made their card marking strategy useless. Izzy steps forward for his reward, and Black Rabbit warns him against any requests involving her tempting plot development skills. Izzy, in his Giga Chad manner, bluntly states he's not interested. Instead, he wonders if Little Garden can cure his boredom. Black Rabbit reveals that Little Garden is inhabited by gods, demons, and spirits, all races competing with each other in gifted games. It's only available to those that have surpassed normal humans, and it is the most exciting place they'll ever see. Later, Black Rabbit guides them to the east entrance gate of Little Garden. There, she introduces them to some little named Jin Russell, leader of the no-name community. However, Jin interrupts her excitement, noting that there are only 2 stupid people with her. Being shocked, Black Rabbit asks the girls about Izzy's whereabouts. Surprisingly, they mention that Izzy left them midway to explore the world's edge, and didn't really bother to tell the creepy stalking cosplayer about it. Furious, Black Rabbit changes her hair color just like a transforming cosplayer, activating a mysteriously powerful mode. She has had enough of the problem child's behavior as he has treated her so poorly, so she blasts off to find him. Meanwhile, Jin escorts Asuka and Yu into the city. Walking through, the little green-haired nerd explains that the city is enclosed by a transparent magic barrier, safeguarding races that cannot be directly exposed to sunlight like vampires. There are several other races there as well. Gods, demons, spirits, furries, weebs, and dumbasses like them. In the forest, Black Rabbit heads towards the world's edge, where the gods engage in battle. Anxious that Izzy might have challenged the god to a gift game, she hurries, following a massive wave. When she gets there, she discovers Izzy. She tells him that they should head back, but Izzy shockingly reveals that he actually has challenged the god to a gift game. The ground shakes as the water god reveals himself, and Black Rabbit wonders what the stupid, ugly idiot Izzy did to get it so angry. The god thinks of Izzy as an arrogant boy and challenges him to endure a single attack. Upon hearing this, Izzy grins at the puny little snake like he's some kind of demon lord. Infuriated by his response, the water god conjures a whirlwind of water. However, Izzy effortlessly counters the onslaught with a single air punch, shocking the creepy rabbit girl and the albino snake. Leaping into the air, Izzy lands an insanely powerful kick on the water god's head, destroying its stupid snake brain. Black Rabbit can't believe what she just witnessed, as Izzy was somehow able to easily defeat a god. Our boy Izzy strikes a cool guy pose, claiming victory, and Black Rabbit gets soaked because of the rain. Back in the city, Jin takes Asuka and Yu to a cafeteria, where a cat lady takes their order. Surprisingly, she can also communicate with Yu's cat. Yu's cat is some kind of smooth talker, even after just arriving to the strange world, and instantly rizzes up the cat girl. Yu explains that she's able to talk to all sorts of animals, and the spoiled brat Asuka wishes she could have those powers too. Just as they start talking about how Asuka's power works, a strange guy named Galdo walks to their table. Judging by his evil-looking face, you just know he is the bad guy who eventually loses his life. He talks down to all of them for being part of the no-name community and reveals that he is the leader of the Forest community. Meanwhile, on the edge of the world, Izzy wins a substantial water tree sapling. This will spare Jin's community from needing to purchase water from other communities. Black Rabbit couldn't be happier, as this will be a great help to the entire community. Observing Black Rabbit's joy, Izzy questions why they were summoned to Little Garden, suspecting she's withholding a crucial detail. Despite our boy Izzy's persistent questioning, Black Rabbit continues lying through her bunny teeth about the true reasons behind their summons to Little Garden. The inappropriately dressed rabbit claims that they wanted Izzy and the others to simply enjoy their world. Izzy, who is secretly a genius under that whole arrogant persona, proposes two theories. First, he suggests Black Rabbit's community might be weak compared to the others, or might have encountered an unfortunate event, leaving them in a bad shape. Black Rabbit gets real quiet real quick, so DJ Izzy assumes that he struck the mark. After deciding to stop lying like a jerk, Black Rabbit reluctantly confirms Izzy's suspicions, finally unveiling the truth. According to her, communities are like countries and can vary in size. Until recently, their banner proudly stood at the far reaches of the East Gates. However, they were challenged by an opponent they should have avoided at all costs. In the city, Galdo shares the same story with Asuka and Yu, revealing that a demon lord forced the little nerd Jin into a gift game. Due to the demon lord's incredibly superior strength, no community can refuse their challenge. Back in the forest, Black Rabbit continues, explaining the overwhelming strength of the demon lord. They lost the gift game swiftly, losing their name and banner. Now their community is known as the No Name. Presently, only she and Jin, as core members, can participate in gift games. The other 120 members are all children under the age of 10 years old that are completely useless in battle and in general. Amidst this sad backstory, Izzy cuts the long story short, saying that they are screwed. Nevertheless, the 120 parentless children, with no parents in sight and with no hopes of ever getting them to bring back the milk, walk miles to the river to fetch water every single day. Izzy suggests they partake in some child labor to put the useless little orphans to work rebuilding the community, but Black Rabbit rejects the idea, expressing a desire to reclaim their former glory and banner. After narrating their entire boring backstory, Black Rabbit implores Izzy for help. After briefly absorbing the sleep-inducing history lesson, he eagerly stands up, asserting that rescuing and reclaiming their lost glory, defeating the Demon King, it all sounds like it could cure his boredom. He accepts her pleas for help and hopes to have some fun with the dangerous demon lords. Back in the city, after detailing the entire history of No Name, Galdo invites Asuka, Yu, and even Black Rabbit to join his community, the Forest Garu. He boasts about his community winning every single gift game where their banner was bet. He sees it as a clear choice. However, the always annoying Asuka declines, leaving Galdo and Jin puzzled. She explains that she left nobility to enter Little Garden, and the spoiled brat is not interested in a privileged life anymore. Asuka turns to Yu, who surprisingly is a loner, and is now only seeking new friendships in Little Garden. Asuka decides to be her friend, making her an ally. Galdo, the wannabe tough guy, with his stupid-looking sharp teeth, refuses their suggestion, believing he controls everything in the eastern part of the city. Asuka gets angry, commands him to shut his trap, and tells him to sit like a good puppy. Asuka asks Jin about the frequency of gift games involving banners as bets. He admits they're rare since communities won't risk their existence. This is strange, so Asuka wonders how Galdo was able to get so many communities to participate in gift games with them. Using her power, she compels Galdo to speak the truth. They uncover that Galdo the scumbag has been kidnapping women and children to blackmail smaller communities into playing against them. To ensure victory, this absolute monster held children from different communities hostage. Enraged, Asuka asks about the children's current situation. Shockingly, Galdo admits to ending the lives of the children on the first day due to constant crying. He didn't do it intentionally at first, but this horrible guy became addicted, so he kept doing it every time they took children hostage. Emotionally charged, Asuka commands him to shut up. Galdo transforms into a monster, thinking the girls lack combat abilities. He attacks, but Yu intervenes. Asuka has had enough of this piece of garbage and challenges Galdo to a gift game, putting the banners of their respective communities on the line. Later, Black Rabbit and Izzy return to town. Black Rabbit is stunned to hear that the rest of the group is just as crazy as Izzy when she learns about Asuka and Yu's challenge to Galdo and his community in a gift game. She calms down, realizing that Izzy should be able to defeat Galdo, but she is stunned when Izzy reveals that he won't interfere in their battle. Afterwards, Black Rabbit leads the trio to Thousand Eyes, a community specializing in appraising gifts along with other secret things. Upon arrival, Shiroyasha, some little perverted lolly, rushes towards Black Rabbit expressing her admiration and attaching herself to Black Rabbit's gigantic and significant attributes. As the playful moment concludes, Shiroyasha introduces herself as a senior official of Thousand Eyes and a member of the 4th Gate of Little Garden. She's a tomboy who enjoys self-praise and discloses that she occasionally assists Black Rabbit. During their conversation, Yu inquires about the system of gates in the land. Black Rabbit explains that a community's gate number signifies its strength, with closer gates to the center being the strongest, while No Name resides at Gate 7, on the outskirts of Little Garden because it's super weak. Taking over, Shiroyasha reveals that level 4 and below is considered the upper levels. She also reveals that she was the one that granted divinity to the serpent defeated by Izzy at the world's edge. Excitedly, they stand up, and Izzy asks if she is stronger than the water god. As expected, Shiroyasha turns out to be a demon lord and the strongest floor master. Intrigued by her statements, Izzy and the others show just how crazy they are, as they each want to challenge her to a fight. Shiroyasha accepts, stating that she's been lacking playmates. Izzy, with headphones so massive he could be mistaken for a satellite dish, praises her ego, but is ready to destroy the little lolly. Suddenly, using a strange power, Shiroyasha transforms their surroundings into an open area, and reveals herself as a demon lord of the White Knight. Once again, she asks Izzy if he accepts her challenge. Realizing her strength, Izzy wisely declines the duel, but is prepared to have his strength tested. Unexpectedly, she summons a griffin, a mythical creature presiding over gift games. Shiroyasha presents a challenge. One of them must ride the griffin as it flies around the lake without falling. This challenge captures Yu's interest and she volunteers. Surprisingly, she can communicate with the animal that can't seem to decide if it wants to be a bird or a lion. This animal, that looks like a confused mascot, explains that he would lose his street cred amongst the other stupid-looking animals if he lost to such a weak-looking girl. For this reason, he wonders what she could possibly bet in exchange that would make him want to risk being embarrassed in both the bird and lion kingdoms. After a moment's thought, Yu boldly offers her life, shocking everyone. She states that if she falls off the griffin, then it can have her as a snack by eating her alive. With a composed demeanor, she settles onto the griffin's back, examining its robust physique, confirming its strength just as her father once told her. This animal that looks like it got mixed in a blender with a lion and eagle's DNA takes flight, soaring through the air. The other super kids become concerned for her since the bird cat thing is traveling so fast that the temperature must be freezing. Despite the challenge intensifying, Yu recalls her hospital days. She remembers some inspiring words from her father and the necklace he gave her that would allow her to walk in the outside world. She vows not to fail and aims to befriend the griffin. Everyone watches in horror as Yu seems to be losing consciousness. Eventually, the griffin crosses the finish line, delivering the good news that Yu has won. However, at that moment, Yu loses consciousness and slips from the griffin's back. Halfway down, her wooden pendant begins to glow, enabling her to surprisingly glide in the air, just like the griffin. After landing safely, our boy Izzy says that he knew something all along. Yu's wooden engraved pendant grants her the ability to take the powers of any animal she befriends and make them her own. The griffin, who is the offspring of two animals that definitely should not have mated, now calls Yu his friend. He wants her to use the gift she received as a reminder that she defeated him. Shiroyasha unfortunately explains that appraising abilities is far out of her field, but she can do something else. She then issues each of them a card which can store their gifts and allows them to name the gifts they have. However, Izei's card says unknown, marking an exception to the rule, adding more ego to the already overfilled egomaniac's confidence. Shiroyasha finds this intriguing, wondering how long Izei can maintain his smug attitude. Later, she escorts everyone to No Name's former domain. Izei, with headphones so big he might be able to hear people's thoughts, carefully examines the soil, concluding that their battle must have occurred 200 years ago. However, Black Rabbit contradicts this, revealing that the battle took place only 3 years ago. This does kinda make sense, however, as demon lords are capable of doing insane amounts of destruction, and Izei gets excited about fighting one. Elsewhere, some random chick bites Galdo's neck and explains that she just gave him some crazy power. It's up to him what he chooses to do with it, but she wonders what the new members of No Name plan to do. After a brief tour of the territory, Black Rabbit and the group make their way to the canal that's more dried up than your love life. With a lot of excitement, she places the water tree sapling in the center, and soon water gushes out, filling the canal and the lake with fresh water. Asuka notices the relief on Jin's face now that they no longer have to rely on other communities for water. Those parentless, unwanted kids can just stay home playing video games all day now, instead of walking to get water and actually getting some exercise. Furthermore, they can begin growing their own food, ensuring survival without engaging in gift games. As night falls, the girls enjoy a soothing bath. Yu mentions the water's forest-like scent, and Black Rabbit explains that water from a water tree sapling has a distinct aroma. Asuka admits feeling uncomfortable enjoying the bath, since the little orphans get worked like dogs in a sweatshop and were the ones that built the bath. Black Rabbit assures her that enjoying the bath while the kids slave away at other tasks is totally fine. Since the no parent having children are unable to participate in gift games, they are expected to assist the players in other ways. Asuka and Yu understand now that gift games aren't just child's play. They can drastically affect lives, leaving them to strive for victories to benefit the community. Black Rabbit, with her stupid long ears, suggests that they stop talking about depressing orphans and have some girl talk instead. She asks about Asuka's past life, but Asuka feels uneasy discussing herself, skillfully steering the conversation back to Black Rabbit, asking about her color-changing hair and the secret behind her huge assets. Later in the night, a group of bandits arrive at No Name's territory, intending to capture the children as hostages. Luckily, Izei easily anticipates their actions because the scumbags are the same in every anime. He uses his powerful signature move, flicking little pebbles at them like a boss. Realizing that they are outmatched, the bandits give up. Seeing Izei's power, they determine that the rumors are true about him being strong enough to defeat gods. These guys are not only child-stealing scumbags, they are also traitors as they now seek Izei's help in defeating Galdo. Despite their pleas, Izei bluntly refuses, appearing totally indifferent. Jin wonders how he could be so cold, but Izei is quick to point out that these guys are the ones that take children as hostages. Persisting, the bandits reveal that Galdo serves a demon lord, granting him unchecked power in the East Wing. They cannot oppose him due to the hostages he has taken. Izei, wearing headphones so massive he gets a neck workout whenever he nods to a beat, intervenes again, arrogantly revealing that Galdo had ended all the hostages on the day they arrived. Jin confirms what he is saying, leaving the bandits in deep despair as they didn't realize what Galdo was doing. Izei acknowledges their despair and asserts that his little buddy Jin has vowed to defeat every single demon lord. He continues boasting while the innocent little runt Jin screams in confusion. Inside the mansion, Jin yells at Izei for making a statement they cannot back up. However, being low-key Einstein, Izei reveals that he has created a perfect tagline for his future plan. He calls Jin a mighty runt, explaining that the real targets are the demon lords. To achieve this role, they must market themselves in the appropriate way, so that other powerful individuals seeking battles will join them. Currently, they are at a severe disadvantage since they have no flag and no name. To achieve their goal is they change Jin from just being another leader to being known as a leader that challenged every single demon lord. Furthermore, if they win tomorrow's game, they will have marketed themselves well, and the demon lords won't be the only ones to take notice. Interrupting his speech, the little brat reveals that there is still one member of the No-Names they haven't met. She was a former demon lord there under their original name and banner. Unfortunately, she is enslaved in a noble's family and will be a prize in an upcoming gift game. The BTS army mistakenly interrupts their conversation, thinking Izzy and Jin are fighting. Izzy clarifies that they were having a private conversation and the hideous girls interrupted. Before leaving, Izzy promises Jin that he will save his slave friend, but only if he wins the gift game tomorrow. If he loses though, Izzy shockingly says that he will leave. Meanwhile, in the Forest Garo territory, Letitia, the obvious vampire from before, watches over Galdo, who is now some kind of monster. One of his goons tries to warn him about the upcoming gift game, but Galdo's just a bloodthirsty monster at this point and deletes this guy. On the night of the gift game, the three stooges, Asuka, Yu, and Izzy, journey to the battlefield. Black Rabbit points out that gift games are usually held in special territories, but this game is in a residential area. Jin suspects that a demon lord had planned something in advance. He touches one of the trees and learns that they've been enhanced by the beastification spell. Black Rabbit redirects everyone's attention to the contract that states that Asuka and Yu will fight with a designated weapon instead of their gifts. Izzy realizes that Galdo has leveled the playing field, mocking Jin and the others for not agreeing on the rules beforehand. However, Asuka, confident as ever, loves the challenge. Moments later, Yu, Asuka, and Jin step into the shadowy forest. Yu apparently befriended dogs at some point, as she now has their high-level smelling ability. They look for hints and weapons, but they don't find anything. Asuka suggests shifting strategies and locating Galdo herself. Just as she voices her useless opinion, Yu locates Galdo. Seeing as there was no ambush, Asuka wants to ask Galdo why he lured them there. They find him, but he looks just a little different now, as he has turned into an albino Tony the Tiger. Nearby, they find a silver cross sword, implying it must be the weapon that they're supposed to use to defeat Galdo. Jin deduces that Galdo has turned into a tiger vampire, concluding that someone is manipulating him from behind. Galdo then initiates the attack. Asuka might be a bit slow in the brain since she tries to use her gift against him, even though she just read that it wouldn't work. Yu, using her beastly strength, blocks his attack and urges the others to flee. Asuka compels Jin to run away, but he refuses, so she uses her mind control ability to force him to run. Surprisingly though, he carries her along as they escape. Yu grabs onto the mighty sword and does her best to fight off the monstrous kitty cat. After a while, Asuka urges Jin to stop running. Jin reveals that Galdo was originally a tiger who learned to take human form using magic. A demon lord later transformed him into a demon and now into a vampire. As Jin finishes his little speech, Yu arrives severely injured. Exhausted after failing to defeat Galdo, she faints, leaving everything in Asuka's hands. Determined, she advances to confront Galdo alone, and Letitia becomes intrigued that she can sense something happening. Along the way, Asuka recalls Black Rabbit's words from the previous day. Glancing at Asuka's gift card, she discovers her ability to use words of authority. She speculates that her words can command others' gifts and inanimate objects. Asuka ignites Galdo's castle ablaze, provoking his anger, and then she challenges him to a one-on-one fight. However, this quickly backfires on this fool as she is overwhelmed, forcing her to attempt an escape. Despite her effort, Galdo, with the speed of an insanely powerful tiger, quickly catches up to her. She tells Galdo to get ready, and Asuka uses her words of authority on nearby trees to restrain Galdo. However, this tiger is not some little kitten, as it's able to break free. Realizing her disadvantage, Asuka remembers some more advice that Black Rabbit gave her, and she commands the silver sword to share its strength. Using this newfound ability, she strikes Galdo in the chest, burning him into ash with a single blow. Galdo's evil reign is finally over, and Asuka announces her victory. After the battle, Black Rabbit takes Yu to a community center where there are healers. Witnessing it all, Jin, being the runt that he is, feels useless once more. However, beside him, Izzy encourages him to muster up courage for their plans to succeed. As people ruthlessly burn the Forest Garo's banner, Izzy steps forward with Jin, introducing him as the man who single-handedly defeated Galdo. Izzy, with headphones so big he looks like he's trying to measure seismic activity, points out that Jin was the one that restored their pride and allowed them to regain their flag. Jin recognizes his responsibility and earnestly requests the people's support for their new cause. They all eat up every word and begin to cheer. In the city, a man named Laius visits the Thousand Eyes headquarters, hoping to meet Shiroyasha. Back at the No Name's estate, inside Izzy's room, he inquires about Yu's health status from Black Rabbit. With a sigh of relief, she assures him that Yu is out of danger and just sleeping, even though it looks like she is hooked up to some futuristic life support thingamajig. Shifting the conversation to Izzy, the bunny expresses her gratitude for agreeing to help their friend not be a slave anymore. Izzy responds in his usual arrogant tone and smug grin, promising to keep his word. He then probes for information about her friend that has no freedom. Black Rabbit, being the cheerful little rabbit she is, reveals that her friend was once a respected demon lord, but was taken away during a raid on their community. Since then, she has been a prize in gift games, moving from one community to another like a rag doll. Black Rabbit hopes Izzy will win the game and bring her back home so they can watch AniCap videos together. Izzy, with headphones so big he looks like he's part of an air traffic control team, quickly suggests something. He thinks that Black Rabbit should participate in the gift game instead of him, because he isn't some kind of simp and she has been pretty useless since the beginning of this anime. Without hesitation, she discloses her role as a referee. She can't participate in gift games without completing a whole bunch of requirements first. Moments later, Izzy proves to have some serious powers as he confronts an eavesdropper that has been hanging out. Letitia reveals herself by using her abilities to break into the room. Impressed by Izzy's perception, she remarks on his spidey sensing abilities. However, Izzy didn't expect to meet a stupid little lolly girl. Letitia attacks with some tree branches, but it's easily countered by Izzy's punch, causing panic among the residents. Rushing in, Black Rabbit and the others enter the room. As Izzy is about to launch a counterattack, Black Rabbit stops him, but our boy tells her to shut her mouth before he gives her some of this business too. Black Rabbit clarifies why she wants to stop him though, and shockingly reveals that Letitia is the friend that he's meant to be saving. Being shocked, Izzy decides to hold back from sending Letitia to Lolly Heaven. As everyone calms down, Black Rabbit discloses Letitia's identity as a rare pure-blooded vampire known as the Knight of Little Garden. Despite her high status, Letitia claims she is now merely an object owned by another master. Black Rabbit demands that she not talk like that since she is so much more, but Jin stops her. Jin is an absolute savage and agrees that Letitia is only an object. Asuka points out that if Queen Letitia is supposed to be their friend, then why did she help Galdo become Giga Beast Galdo? Asuka is pretty upset about it and reminds them that her friend was seriously injured because of that. Letitia apologizes for Yu's injury and reveals that she helped Galdo live his dream of becoming White Simba from the Lion King because she wanted to test their strength. She wanted to know if the three summoned heroes were strong enough for her to entrust the no-name community to them. Unfortunately, she has determined that their powers are far too unpolished. Initially, she aimed to persuade Jin to give up on rebuilding their community, but Izzy's bold actions made disbanding impossible. Black Rabbit points out that all they have to do is win Letitia back with the gift game. Once she stops being a slave, she can lead the no-names. That could work, but Letitia apologizes as there is one issue with that. At Thousand Eye headquarters, Laius claims to have cancelled the gift game with Letitia as the prize, revealing that he has found a buyer for her instead. Shiroyasha is annoyed by this sleazeball and points out that Letitia isn't there right now. If he can't complete her sale, then he won't be able to stop the gift game. Laius has everything under control, but it soon becomes clear to Shiroyasha that he aims to destroy the no-names. He throws a cup right at her feet and smugly apologizes by saying that it just slipped out of his greasy hands. She calls this guy a newborn as she has had enough of him, and he mocks her by pretending to be afraid of her. Laius pretends to fear that she might end his life, but threatens to destroy her entire shop before he goes to heaven. Despite him provoking her, Shiroyasha refrains from fighting, worried about the potential harm she could do to bystanders. Back at the No-Name's estate, the vampire Lolly explains that the gift games were called off. Asuka wants them to just hide like cowards so Letitia doesn't get sold, but that won't work. Letitia is certain that her owner knows where she is. On top of that, every community would hate them if they tried to do something so stupid. Izzy, impatient as always, reminds Letitia of her initial motive, to test his strength. Outside the mansion, Letitia outlines the rules of a game involving throwing their thick lances at each other. The person who gets hit first loses. Letitia throws hers first with insane amounts of power. Izzy, being the alpha boss he is, not only blocks it, but this son of a gun redirects it right back at her. Before she gets hit, Letitia sighs with relief, knowing that Izzy is strong. Since he is more than capable of taking care of the No-Names, Letitia prepares to let the lance strike her right into the afterlife. However, her plan for self-let die is ruined as she is rescued by Black Rabbit. Black Rabbit checks Letitia's card thing and confirms what she had feared. Letitia, once having the great gift of being the Lord of Vampires, has lost her divinity and is now just a normal vampire. Just then, some strange beam appears. Black Rabbit recognizes it as the power of Gorgon and warns everyone not to let it touch them. Asuka has the worst reflexes to ever exist as she just stands there, but luckily for the dummy, Letitia jumps in to save her. Letitia is struck by the ray instead and is sadly turned into stone. Laius' henchmen prepare to take her away and explain to the wench Black Rabbit that Letitia will be traded outside of Little Garden. Black Rabbit is horrified to hear this and points out that vampires can only survive the sun's rays inside of Little Garden. The henchmen call the No-Names gutter trash and tell the stupid rabbit to shut her stupid rabbit mouth before they fill it with carrots. Black Rabbit has had enough of these lowlives. She becomes furious and begins to power up. She summons Indra's weapon, but the henchmen say that it's impossible, and they assume that it must just be a replica. Black Rabbit is just about to teach these jerks a lesson, but Izzy grabs her bunny ears like he's trying to get cancelled, and prevents a war from breaking out against the Thousand Eyes community. The jerks are gone, but Izzy has a plan, and tells the little guy to watch over their unconscious friend. With that matter settled, Izzy, Asuka, and Black Rabbit find themselves in a meeting with the leader of the Perseus community, Laius Perseus. Laius introduces himself as the Lord Jerk leader of the Jerks community, revealing his inclination towards enslaving women. He directs his attention to Black Rabbit, expressing surprise at seeing a rabbit in the East Wing, and proposing that she join his crew because of her great personalities. However, Asuka interjects, asserting that Black Rabbit's allegiance lies with their community, prompting Izzy to claim her as his own. Black Rabbit tries to explain that she's not some object, and she only dresses the way she does because Shiroyasha told her she would get a 30% increase in pay when reffing games. The conversation takes a serious turn when Black Rabbit accuses Laius' men of trespassing and attacking their people. To prove her claim, she demands that Laius undoes his petrification spell so Letitia can confirm it. Laius denies the request, revealing his intention to keep Letitia petrified until she's transferred. He argues that Letitia might lie to protect her former comrades anyway. With both sides lacking evidence, Laius decides to leave, intending to teach Letitia manners before they transfer her, stating that her new owner is into lolicon stuff. This triggers Black Rabbit's transformation in anger. Laius pushes her even further as he reveals that Letitia gave up her soul and sacrificed her divinity as the Queen of Vampires just so she could see Black Rabbit again. Unexpectedly, Laius proposes an offer. He will set Letitia free, but in return, he wants Black Rabbit to be his slave instead. Asuka thinks that offer is ridiculous and tells Black Rabbit that they should leave. However, Black Rabbit is stupid and can't stop thinking about Letitia, so she doesn't move. Laius, persisting in his creepy ways, pushes Black Rabbit to fulfill her duty to save her friend. Asuka intervenes, commanding Laius to apologize and using her ability to bring him to his knees. However, to their surprise, Laius breaks free from her constraints and summons his weapon, preparing to attack. Izzy steps in, effortlessly stopping the attack with just one finger, shocking Laius. Shiroyasha, the mediator of the conversation, rises and threatens everyone to stop. Out of nowhere, the silly Black Rabbit apologizes for their earlier confrontation and requests that Laius give her some time. Being lenient, Laius grants her 1 week to make her decision about becoming his submissive slave. Laius is the leader of Perseus, but Ize thought that that community symbolized a powerful and honorable deity. Shiroyasha reveals that historically, Perseus was among the most prestigious communities in Little Garden, renowned for hosting legendary gift games. However, under Laius' leadership, they become the jerks community, thinking only about women and booze, similar to anime recap viewers. Back at the No Name's estate, Black Rabbit contemplates accepting Laius' offer. Asuka confronts her, asserting that selling her body won't change anything because she isn't good looking enough. In the heat of the moment, the two begin to argue. Their tension is interrupted by Yu, who instead of doing something actually useful, just brings them some cookies. It turns out that she didn't even bake them herself, and instead had the orphan slaves do it instead. The sugary, diabetes-inducing treats actually managed to do the trick, as Black Rabbit and Asuka apologize to each other. Yu then urges Black Rabbit to consider another solution. Black Rabbit reveals that after all that drama, there is actually another way. There was a legendary ancient battle a long time ago, and a gift game is being held that mimics it. It will allow even low-level people to participate, and it could be their answer. However, they will have to win 2 of these gift games. The problem is that these games are incredibly difficult, and it will take years to win both. Unexpectedly, Ize bursts in, placing a bag on the table filled with watermelon-like objects. Asuka asks him about his adventures, while Yu mentions that the door was unlocked. With his usual smug attitude, he reveals that he was out completing a task given to him by Shiroyasha. The next morning at the Perseus estate, Laius daydreams about Black Rabbit like the creep he is. Surprisingly, she appears and challenges him to a duel. Initially refusing due to cowardice, Laius changes his stance when Black Rabbit reveals her gigantic round orbs. Laius is shocked as they are gifts that display the authority to challenge a legend. This is surprising because this would mean that the No Names somehow managed to defeat the Kraken and the beast known as Grey. Black Rabbit reveals that this is true as a look into the past shows Ize confronting Squidward. The barnacled beast wanted to make a long speech, but Ize cut it short to defeat it. Ize then said that after defeating the Kraken, the water god was a better opponent. Laius has no choice but to accept the challenge. He is a confident little jerk though, as he threatens to hurt Black Rabbit so bad that she never thinks of defying him again. At the game site, Ize and the team receive the contract detailing the game's rules. Surprisingly, Laius has chosen to play a hide-and-seek game with an assassination twist. Just like the legend, they are supposed to slay him in his sleep while he dreams about being isekai'd into a world filled with lollies. Black Rabbit clarifies the rules. They must locate Laius without being spotted themselves, otherwise they will lose the right to challenge him. Yu is somehow able to tell that all the guards are super powerful just by smelling them, and the guards also have the gift of invisibility. As if all that junk wasn't bad enough, there's an even bigger danger, and that is Perseus' gift. Ize interrupts her and shocks everyone when he reveals that he already knows. Perseus has stolen the former demon lord Letitia's divinity. They all wonder if our boy is some kind of 300 IQ genius, but he really isn't. Ize points to the stars, indicating the Perseus constellation as a significant clue. Prepared for battle, Ize and the team storm the Perseus estate. On the top floor, Laius' men take their positions, ready to counter any attack. Concerned about their banner's honor, one man urges Laius to be on guard. Laius is annoyed about being told what to do because he is a total hothead. He tells everyone to make sure to do their job by eliminating the nerds coming for him, so that he won't have to resort to using his hidden power that he has around his scrawny little neck. At the front door, Asuka attacks some guards with water she controls using words of authority. One of these side character guards calls her an idiot lolly for revealing herself, since he thinks she has forgotten that revealing herself forfeits her right to challenge Laius. However, Asuka thinks about Ize's earlier strategy, dividing the team into 3 roles. Ize and the little boy will eliminate the Game Master Laius. The worthless animal whisperer will sniff out and neutralize the invisible guards. One of them had to act as bait and forfeit the right to challenge the Game Master, so that person was Asuka. She engages the men with waves of water, but it doesn't do anything. Finally, Asuka summons the water tree, using an endless supply of water to defeat all the guards. Inside the mansion, Yu the hippie accompanies Izzy the DJ and Jin the baby to the upper floors. Suddenly, she senses an invisible guard nearby and swiftly incapacitates the guard using her keen dog-smelling ability. She secures the guard's helmet and explains that the helmet of Hades grants invisibility to its wearer. Izzy thanks the hippie for sniffing out the enemy like a good dog, but she explains that she expects something in return later. Izzy quickly dons the helmet, instructing Jin to find a safe hiding spot. The kid knows just how useless and pointless his entire life is, almost like he is proud of it, so he runs and hides in some little box. Izzy, who is now invisible, absolutely destroys some guards, but the situation escalates when someone attacks Yu. Yu wasn't able to detect this person, so Izzy desperately fights the air in the hopes that he will hit the person. Izzy isn't able to sense this guy either, so he determines that this person must have the real helmet of Hades. Izzy attempts to provoke the mysterious person into revealing their presence, but the clever individual remains silent and continues knocking around Yu like a ragdoll. Yu decides to stop being a worthless punching bag and uses her little necklace to emit ultrasonic sound waves. She is able to detect the hidden guy and instructs Izzy on where to swing. Capitalizing on his immense strength, Izzy delivers a powerful punch, rendering the person unconscious. The guard uses his final words to compliment Izzy on his power, but Izzy ignores him and just takes his sweet-looking helmet. Jin leaves his box of safety to ask if he could stop being useless, so Izzy gives him the extra invisibility helmet. On the next floor, Black Rabbit hopes that everyone is doing okay, and starts spazzing out like a lunatic. It turns out that our boy Izzy was touching her, but only to tickle her, a lot less than what you heathens would do with powers of invisibility. Laius was there waiting for them, and the boys are stunned when they see the petrified Letitia by his side. Laius calls himself their opponent and the game master, but reveals that he won't be the one fighting. This coward activates the boots of Hermes and takes flight. Sensing Laius' intention to escalate things, Izzy reveals that he's planning to pull out the big guns, leaving the others in confusion. Izzy, acting like some kind of astronomer, clarifies that the Perseus constellation includes a demon star named Algol. As expected, Laius summons the demon lord Algol to the battlefield. Algol is some giant, hideous, angry Karen-looking beast, and Laius commands it to unleash terror upon all his enemies. Algol's roar echoes through the palace, sending chills down everyone's spine. Even the Perseus men themselves label Laius a fool for going so far as to summon the terrifyingly powerful Algol. Back in the arena, Black Rabbit can instantly tell that they are in grave danger as Algol unleashes a devastating attack. She easily brings down the weak little Jin to protect him, while the attack just misses Izzy. This attack goes everywhere and turns everyone else into stone. Laius laughs in triumph, declaring his intent to end everyone's lives in the palace and to purchase new slaves. Black Rabbit reveals that Algol is a star-level demon lord similar to Shiroyasha, the White Knight. Outside the gift game arena, Shiroyasha and her assistant closely monitor the game on a TV that's older than Josh Gady's girlfriend. Shiroyasha's assistant predicts that the no-names will lose, but Shiroyasha disagrees, hinting at a surprise. On the battlefield, Laius does your typical evil guy talk as he explains that he wants to torture his opponents before defeating them. He orders Algol to wield her weapon, which is suitable for punishment as it's a whip, and the stupid demon lord just does a whole bunch of damage to the arena. The vibrations from her berserk-filled attack causes the petrified Letitia to fall, prompting Black Rabbit to rush to her side, but she is stopped. Meanwhile, Izzy diverts Jin's attention to himself. Izzy calls him a runt and reveals that he knows Jin was planning to fight with the demon lord after retrieving Letitia. But now, Jin has an extra ace in the hole. Jin instantly understands his long, boring, sleep-inducing speech. Jin uses his best new weapon and orders Izzy to display his true power to end the gift game. DJ Izzy somehow hears the little pipsqueak's baby voice through his giant headphones and tells Jin to take notes on this upcoming beatdown. However, this angry Karen whips our boy like he's some cashier that won't take her coupons. She causes massive destruction, so the idiot Laius thinks he has won. Apparently, he doesn't know that he's fighting our protagonist because he is shocked when he sees that Izzy caught Algol's whip with one hand. Izzy is ready for the real fight to start, so the frustrated Laius demands that Algol get serious. Algol transforms her whips into snakes and terrifies everyone when she begins strangling our boy. Of course, the idiot Laius thinks he has won again, but is shocked when Izzy confidently wonders if that's all they got. Izzy slashes open the attack, and Leius can only wonder what gift Izzy could possibly have. He demands that Algol push the kid down, so the hideous monster turns into even more of a beast, as she looks like a Karen that just received the wrong coffee order. Despite Algol's increased power, Izzy just gets even more fired up and effortlessly lifts the Demon Lord. He tosses the Lord of the Karens aside, taunting Algol for being affected by a mere human. Leius, resorting to a cowardly attack from behind, finds that he somehow just keeps missing. Izzy clarifies that Leius is simply too slow. Even Shiroyashi's assistant questions whether Izzy is truly a mere human or something far stronger. Shiroyashi assumes that the fight is over, but she becomes concerned when Leius gets back up. Leius has had enough and instructs Algol to unleash her ultimate strike, capable of turning the entire world to stone. Jin urges Izzy to flee, but Izzy in his characteristically bold manner refuses to retreat. Instead, he leaps forward and delivers a kick to Algol, interrupting her finishing beam. Leius is stunned, and Jin points out that Izzy didn't just cancel the gift, he destroyed it. Black Rabbit thought it was impossible, but she realizes that Izzy's gift possesses the power to destroy other gifts, a capability that could obliterate the heavens and the earth. At the Thousand Eyes estate, Shiroyashi observes this, and is convinced that Izzy really is an unknown. Izzy concludes the duel with a punch, sending Algol crashing into the arena walls. As Leius falls to his knees, Black Rabbit, acting as the match referee, prepares to declare the no-names as the winners. However, Izzy intervenes, challenging Leius to another game, this time wagering the existence of the Perseus community or Leius' life. Leius realizes now that Letitia wasn't even his real goal, and Izzy confirms this by saying that he could have freed her whenever he pleased. Our boy Izzy is super confident as always, and tells Leius to come at him with his life so he can be entertained. Enraged, Leius confronts Izzy, but just ends up getting a fist to the face. Later that night, Letitia awakens surrounded by all her saviors. Izzy and the others propose that Letitia become their new homemaid, considering they all risked their lives to save her. However, both Jin and Black Rabbit oppose the idea. Despite the objections of the two most useless characters in any anime ever, Letitia agrees to become the maid. Outside, Black Rabbit organizes a banquet for everyone, including the slave children, who probably did all the work to set it up. Izzy, who must be terrified of showing his ears for some reason, wonders why they are celebrating outdoors. Suddenly, the night sky fills with falling stars. Black Rabbit reveals that the Perseus community has been disbanded, leading to their constellation being removed from the sky. Asuka and Yu are surprised to realize the significant role stars play in Little Garden. Izzy, more determined than ever, declares his new goal, and that is to have their constellation shine in the sky one day. The next morning, Asuka thinks about her past life as an aristocrat, recalling a financial crisis she once faced. Feeling unbearably bored in a world where no one can refuse her commands, Asuka's attention was caught by the letter from Little Garden. A sudden knock on her door interrupts her thoughts, and upon opening it, she discovers Yu and Lily with a peculiar letter. In another room, we see that Jin has fainted like a baby from exhaustion after attempting to keep up with Izzy's studying. Just as Izzy advises Jin to take care of himself, Asuka, Yu, and Lily barge into the room. Instantly, the room erupts into name-calling. Enraged, Asuka launches a flying kick at Izzy, who swiftly maneuvers Jin into the kick's path. Asuka shows him the letter they received from Thousand Eyes. It's an invitation to the northern side of Little Garden for a festival known as the Rising of the Fire Dragon. This festival features various hosts holding diverse gift games, with the floor master organizing the main event. Asuka reveals that Black Rabbit was hiding the letter, but Yu found it and brought it to her attention. Jin, as annoying as ever, forbids them from attending the festival, explaining that the northern side of Little Garden is distant and they lack the funds to get there. Disappointed, all three talk about how stupid and ugly Jin is, unable to believe their community would repay them in such a manner despite all the help they've offered the no-names. These guys are ruthless though, and plan to make them pay for hiding stuff. Elsewhere, Black Rabbit receives a letter from them revealing their plan to go to the festival. Black Rabbit is furious, and the letter goes on to reveal the punishment. If Black Rabbit isn't able to find them by the end of the day, then they will all leave the community. At a cafeteria, Izzy discusses their travel plans with Asuka and Yu, seeking Jin's advice on exploring the city and trying local cuisines. However, Jin, acting as a party pooper, reveals that reaching the festival on time will be impossible. This is because the surface area of Little Garden is comparable to a giant star. The little runt does some serious nerd math and explains that the distance between the North and East Poles spans around 980,000 kilometers, making it impossible to reach the festival in time. Jin suggests everyone just go back home, but Asuka refuses. They can't go back, especially after sending that threatening letter to Black Rabbit. Our boy Izzy must be listening to audiobooks on how to be a genius on those giant headphones he wears all day because he comes up with a brilliant idea. Izzy proposes that the Thousand Eyes should pay for their travel, considering they were the ones that invited them. Meanwhile, back in the No-Name estate, Black Rabbit is told by the maid and several parentless children that they can't find Izzy and the others. Letitia assumes that they are already headed towards the gate and states that Black Rabbit is the only one fast enough to catch them. She then suggests that Black Rabbit use the Astral Gate. It won't cost her anything since Black Rabbit works for the authorities. Black Rabbit tells the orphans to get back to doing their slave work and transforms into Pink Bunny before rushing off. At Thousand Eye headquarters, Izzy demands that Shiroyasha cover their transportation costs. The Gothic Lolly agrees that it would make sense since they were invited, but first asks about the rumors regarding their confrontation with Demon Lords. They don't deny wanting to fight the Demon Lords and blame most of it on DJ Izzy. Shiroyasha is actually glad to hear it and reveals that one of the floor masters wants them to eliminate the Demon Lords. Jin eagerly accepts the job, however Shiroyasha proceeds to explain and asks if Izzy and the others are familiar with the floor masters. All of them are way too stupid though and admit that they only learned about them that day. Shiroyasha explains that the floor masters oversee peace in Little Garden, ensuring that the small communities could live and grow in peace. However, the emergence of new Demon Lords disrupts this peace, particularly at the northern border where a floor master and the leader of Salamandra are passing their power to their daughter, Sandora, who has chosen the new name Fire Dragon, hence the festival's name the Rising of the Fire Dragon. Jin reveals that the No-Name's old master had a really good relationship with Salamandra. However, he struggles to comprehend how an 11-year-old like Sandora could get such a high role. This idiot doesn't seem to realize that he is a community leader as well and looks like he was just born yesterday. Izzy predicts serious problems from other floor masters against Sandora's rise, but Shiroyasha hints at another underlying reason. However, before the little gothic chick can finish explaining, the impatient group urges Shiroyasha to transport them to the northern border. This means they agree to the request as they just want to hurry up and go. Shockingly, with just a few claps, Shiroyasha transports them to the northern border. Everyone is amazed at how different the culture in the north is compared to the east. As they plan to explore the city, Black Rabbit intercepts them in the most intense way possible. Izzy and Asuka swiftly escape, but Yu once again proves to be the most useless character as she gets caught by Black Rabbit. Black Rabbit promises to punish her more later, but she just sends her flying for now as she has to chase down the others. In an alley, Asuka expresses how surprised she is that Black Rabbit caught up to them so quickly. Izzy brushes it off like the cool headphone wearing guy he is, claiming that their letter was sure to anger Black Rabbit. Asuka tells Izzy to stop acting like an entitled brat and escort her around the city. Izzy, who I'm convinced has permanently attached those headphones to his head, says some cool guy stuff about being a gentleman and escorts Asuka. Meanwhile, Yu confesses about the letter prank that they played on Black Rabbit and acknowledges that it went too far. Shiroyasha, hoping to give Yu a purpose in this anime, invites her to participate in a gift game called the Duel of Creators, exclusively for individuals with creation gifts. Shiroyasha explains that the northern border faces some pretty bad conditions, so they value creation type gifts to make the city more livable. Shiroyasha points out how the necklace gift Yu's father gave her is extremely powerful. It is so amazing that Shiroyasha is even willing to buy it from her at any price. Yu refuses, of course, because her not alive anymore dad gave it to her. Shiroyasha then explains that she would like to make the festival more exciting. For some reason, she decides to ask the most boring character for help with this, and Yu agrees to do it. Shiroyasha then reveals that the winner of the gift game will receive a rare gift from her. In the heart of town, Izzy and Asuka spot a poster showcasing a rare gift item for the main event's winner. Our boy Izzy shows a bit of his genius once again as he points out that this item was crafted from a rare natural glass. Asuka is dumber than a bag of rocks and is impressed with this knowledge, but Izzy says that he's just good at trivia. Her attention turns to some characters from a Disney cartoon and she hopes to see a flying pumpkin monster. Izay realizes that this chick is talking about a jack-o'-lantern and wonders how she doesn't know much about Halloween. The reason is because she was kept in isolation her whole life. Asuka was born a hideous human being with the ability to control people, so she was seen as a threat. Luckily for her, everything has changed after coming to Little Garden, except for still being hideous. Izay then realizes something. Originally, they are both from Earth, however, both of their timelines and events are in random order. Asuka confirms this theory and adds that Izay is from a future Earth. Izay is done talking about this time travel stuff, and he suggests that they should use the fertile land in the no-name territory to start growing stuff. It will help the community a ton, and during harvesting season, they will be able to celebrate Halloween. The two dummies keep talking about Halloween, so they don't realize that Black Rabbit has joined the conversation. Letitia appears from nowhere to stop Asuka from running, and Asuka waits for her heroic gentleman to save her. Unfortunately for her, our boy Izay is long gone. Black Rabbit chases Izay around town, eventually finding themselves atop some buildings. Black Rabbit wants him to give up, but Izay points out that a large crowd has gathered and he wants to DJ for them. He doesn't have any equipment with them though, so Izay decides to challenge Black Rabbit to a game instead. As an apology for his rude letter, Rabbit won't lose anything if she doesn't win, but if he loses, then he will do any one thing she commands. The little Black Rabbit says something about honor or whatever, and decides that she wants to be forced to do something too if she loses. The rules of the game are simple. Each player must attempt to touch the other with the palm of their hand to win. Elsewhere, Asuka eats her first crepe with Letitia and Lily. While walking, she notices some malnourished little fairy. Letitia explains that fairies travel in groups, meaning that this little fellow has been separated from her community. Asuka tries to communicate with the fairy, but her hideously disgusting face scares it away. Asuka leaves the crepes with the lame characters and runs off after the fairy to force it to look at her gross face. Izay tosses a coin to start the game as the crowd watches these powerful strangers. Initiating the game, he leaps towards Black Rabbit, aware of her advantage due to her ears that he was told are connected with the Little Garden's central systems. She definitely has excellent hearing abilities, so he determines that his best chance of winning will be to not let her out of his sight. The crowd is amazed by their speed and power, and the two fighters end up on buildings again. Izay, being the man of culture he is, points out that her miniskirt has shockingly been able to conceal everything this whole time. Black Rabbit reveals that it's some kind of magical skirt, as it only allows people to almost see the contents. Izay is determined to break the spell, but this lolly lover just ends up punching a building. Black Rabbit determines that she has already won and leaps off the building. Izay now faces a dilemma. She will catch him if he jumps, but lose sight of her if he doesn't. Our boy is a battle god genius though, and comes up with a plan. Izay kicks the tower he's leaning on, sending debris crashing down and causing absolute chaos. People have to run for their lives, and they call the dude with headphones permanently attached to his head crazy. Unfortunately, the building starts to collapse. Forced into cooperation, the two fighters destroy the collapsing structure, ensuring the citizens won't end up getting squashed. The two enemies have the same idea, as they both manage to grab each other simultaneously. Their game officially results in a draw, granting them each one command. As their fight ends, some stupid randoms appear, and Izay wonders if they are the ops. Izay is terrified, and it is revealed that they are the MPs of the Salamander community. During the main event of the exhibition, Yu finally does something cool as she faces off against a colossal creature with no brains. Using the powers of a griffin, she launches herself into the air and maneuvers to the monster's blind spot. With incredible strength like that of an elephant, she knocks the beast down, securing victory in the semifinals. Host Shiroyasha congratulates Yu, highlighting the strength of the no-name community. Shiroyasha then announces that the finals will take place the following day. For the finals announcement, the stage is taken by Sandora, the new floor lolly master. After a little speech, Sandora heads to the throne room, along with Shiroyasha, Izay, and the other no-names, except for Asuka. In the room, some guy named Mandra threatens Izay with a big punishment for all the damage they caused. Our boy Izay only fears waking up one day without his headphones, and tells Mandra that he was just trying to make things more exciting. Black Rabbit tries to tell him how much trouble they are in, and gives him a taste by whacking him on the head. Mandra gets furious at all the casual talk, but Shiroyasha silences him. She reminds Mandra that Sandora is in charge now, and she should be the one to decide on a punishment. Sandora is pretty calm about the whole thing, and explains that no one was hurt. Shiroyasha has even agreed to make all the repairs, so Sandora decides not to punish them. Everyone is happy except Mandra, who has a stick up his butt. All the guards leave, finally allowing Sandora to act like herself. She rushes to greet Jin and Lily as they are old friends. She apologizes for failing to send help when the Demon Lord attacked them. Sandora uses her father's illness and her involvement in the succession ceremony as the reason for not helping. Suddenly, Mandra becomes upset to see Jin acting so nicely with Sandora and launches an attack at Jin, aiming to behead him. Ize, being quick to react, blocks it effortlessly. Mandra has some serious hate for the no-names, as their mere presence is tarnishing the name of Salamandra. Sandora intervenes, reminding Mandra that the no-names were once allies, and urges him to be more respectful. Mandra calls his sister Sandora naive and tells her that socializing with the no-names will severely weaken her position. This jerk then accuses the no-names of making up a mysterious rumor. Sandora becomes furious and commands her stupid brother to be silent. Ize won't let that slide and tells them to spill the beans about this rumor. Shiroyasha then unveils a prophecy that predicts a Demon Lord's attack that will occur at the Rise of the Fire Dragon Festival. Meanwhile, outside the palace, Asuka managed to befriend the fairy that couldn't stand to look at her ugly face by bribing it with food. They exchange names and we learn that this fairy is called Rattenfinger from the Rattenfinger community. Back in the palace, Ize is disappointed since he expected a cliché succession battle. However, Shiroyasha deflects the blame, stating that there were idiots to accept the job without listening to the objective. Everyone wonders if the prophecy is really true, so Shiroyasha reveals that it came from the Demon of Laplace, the place where all prophecies originate. Mandra, also known as Hornchin, gets really upset since the prophets seem to know who will be calling the Demon Lord there, but they aren't telling them. Because of this, Ize suspects that one or more floor masters from Thousand Eyes are collaborating closely with the Demon Lord. He then highlights a major clue: none of the floor masters assisted in preparing the exhibition. Everyone gets real serious and worried, but DJ Ize couldn't be calmer. In fact, he is surprised that no one saw this coming. Jin, being the naive little brat, can't believe it since floor masters are supposed to protect everyone, but Ize hits him with a big old reality check. People can lie. Shiroyasha states that the ones teaming up with the Demon Lord will eventually get punished, but first they have to deal with the prophecy. Shiroyasha asserts that handling the Demon Lord is her responsibility. Ize seems to have a problem with this, but eventually he decides that it will be a good chance to see just how strong these Demon Lords are. Our boy is a sneaky little fox though, and wonders if she would have a problem if someone accidentally took out the Demon Lord before she even got to him. Shiroyasha is no idiot and can tell what he is getting at, so she permits him to take the lead. Back at the market, Asuka remains completely oblivious to the plot of the anime, and she just explores various items on display. She finds some huge golem thing and is surprised to see that it was crafted by the Rattenfinger community. Just then, the area plunges into darkness as a creepy voice says that she found the Rattenfinger. Asuka demands that the coward reveal herself, but instantly regrets opening her big stupid mouth when a horde of rats swarm the area. Asuka attempts to command the rats to move back using her authority, but it has no effect. Up above, Letitia searches for her friend and realizes that she messed up since things are far too dangerous at this time of day, even for someone as strong as Asuka. Down below, Asuka summons a silver sword from her gift card, but it proves futile against the overwhelming number of rats. She realizes that the rats are fixated on the little fairy, so she hides it somewhere no one will ever want to check. Just then, Letitia, the pest-controlling maid, appears in her Demon Lord form. With a swift strike, she eradicates all the rats and demands the spellcaster to reveal themselves. However, the caster remains silent and escapes. Letitia explains that while she might not seem strong in her lolly form, she is still a Demon Lord. Afterwards, Asuka wonders why her power didn't work on the rats and determines that they were under the control of someone stronger than her. She begins to question her own strength and puts herself down as someone that will never be able to fight like Ize or Yu. Asuka eventually stops thinking like a weakling and rekindles her determination, unwilling to become someone who manipulates others' gifts. The girls find Ize, who still somehow has his headphones on after a bath, and he teams up with Shiroyasha to tease the girls. He prods Jin to humorously describe each person's attributes, but his not-so-PG comments earn him buckets thrown by the frustrated girls. Later, Shiroyasha continues to be a little weirdo as she reveals their new mission, to expose more skin on Black Rabbit's uniform. Her little stunt aims to draw attention to Black Rabbit's presence as she acts as a referee for tomorrow's final. Black Rabbit of course denies the request, so Shiroyasha has no choice but to back down. Yu decides not to be a side character for a second and asks Shiroyasha about who she will be facing in the final battle. Shiroyasha can't say, but she does tell her what communities they are from. Aside from the No Names and Salamandra, 2 other opponents will be from Rottenfinger and another community. Ize determines because of the German name Rattenfinger, their opponent tomorrow might be the Piper of Hamelin. Shiroyasha is surprised that someone as dumb and ugly as him knows this, but confirms that he is right. She then shares the chilling history about the Piper, a community previously aligned with the Demon Lord, and once leaders of the Grim Grimoire. The Demon Lord was eliminated during a significant gift game, and the Piper should have lost his power along with it. She then turns to the apparent genius Ize to shed light on the connection between Rattenfinger and the Piper of Hamelin. However, DJ Izzy allows the runt Jin to have his moment. Jin explains that the tale of the Piper of Hamelin occurred in the city of Hamelin and is recorded in a stone monument. In the year 1284, 130 children were sacrificed by the Piper of Hamelin. The name of the Piper is said to be Ratten, an individual who can control rats. Asuka looks to her little friend Rattenfinger and hopes that what she is thinking isn't true. Shiroyasha is concerned that the remnants of the Grim Grimoire might be lurking in the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to attack. She orders the No Names to be prepared, but only act if the Salamandra fail to solve the issue. When alone, Asuka wonders if little Rattenfinger could really be working for the Demon Lord. As the final gift game begins, Black Rabbit takes her place as the referee in the arena. Ize, ever the pervert, teases Shiroyasha about her concealment spell on Black Rabbit's skirt, calling it outdated. Shiroyasha is extremely disappointed in the young naive fool, and she emphasizes the artistic value of the mystery. Ize gradually grasps the concept, acknowledging Shiroyasha as a true master, and he hopes to become a better man of culture. Asuka is disgusted by their vulgar banter, but her thoughts drift to the previous day's rat attack, and the connection it might have to her little fairy friend. Rottenfinger gives her a cookie though, and this is enough to make Asuka think she isn't evil. Nearby, Jin tells Yu everything he knows about the community that her next opponent is part of. Yu is ready to go, but Letitia reminds her that she can take a partner with her if she wants. Yu is tired of being the weak loser laughingstock of this entire anime and decides to prove herself by fighting alone. She might be biting a bit more than she can chew, however, as the loner decides to go on a solo rampage. Black Rabbit introduces the opponents. The girl from the Will-O-Wisp community makes a grand entrance and introduces herself as the long-eared albino Aisha. Her partner is Jack-O-Lantern, which Asuka is delighted to see because she always wanted to see one. Ize quiets her down and reminds her to breathe so he never has to hear her voice again. Shiroyasha signals the start of the game, creating the tree-like battlefield with a clap of her hands. The objective is to clear the maze or eliminate the opponent's gift. After both players sign the contract, Black Rabbit announces the start of the game. Yu distracts Aisha with a question and takes off while the dummy is busy answering. The furious Aisha chases after her and has her pumpkin-headed friend attack with blue flames. Yu manages to skillfully dodge, but Aisha is relentless. Jack, the weird-looking demon partner, continues attacking, but Yu notices something, and she cleverly uses the labyrinth stare to extinguish his attack. Jin reveals that Mr. Pumpkinhead's attack utilizes natural gas, so Yu was able to use that against him. Yu thinks about how the leader of the Will-O-Wisps is a powerful demon that appears on the border between life and death. If she was facing him, then she wouldn't stand a chance. Aisha isn't the leader though, so Yu is confident she can win. Asuka becomes excited when she realizes what's going on. Yu used her heightened senses to feel the flow of air leading towards the exit, so she is about to win. Unfortunately, the Pumpkinhead gets serious and starts tossing her around. He reveals that he is actually some super powerful being and takes control of the fight. He ends up being some immortal demon, so the weakest and most useless character once again finds herself in a bad spot. Even Ize acknowledges that she has no shot at winning, so Yu has no choice but to surrender. Once she does, the game area shatters. Black Rabbit declares Aisha and Jack the winners, prompting cheers from the audience. Jack approaches Yu and wonders why she didn't use a partner. Yu's brain doesn't seem to work anymore, so she doesn't even know how to answer the question. But Jack turns out to be kind of a nice guy, as he tells her that she should try to open up and rely on others. Everyone then congratulates Yu on her amazing performance, even though she is and will probably always be a person that loses. Izzy stops the idiots from chatting about nothing and points out that trouble is approaching. Tensions rise as black contracts rain down from the sky. Izzy reads one to find that all the people there will be the players and their opponent will be a demon lord. For the demon lord to win, all players must be pushed into submission or massacred completely. For the players to win, they must shatter the false legend and reveal the true legend. This is all pretty confusing and they're not really sure what that means. Nearby, the demon lord named Pest is glad that their gift game will finally begin. Chaos erupts everywhere, and Pest commands her minions Wesser and Ratten to initiate the game. Shiroyasha is furious, but a mysterious black wind engulfs and traps her. Her friends try to help her, but they are just pushed off the stage. Butterfinger is scared for her little life, so Asuka urges it to stay hidden under her clothes. Our boy DJ Izzy tells the others to stay back, but they don't want him to face the demons alone. Our confident protagonist assures them that he just wants to say hello to the Demon Lord, and he launches himself into the air. With unstoppable force, Izzy chooses the Guy Demon and slams him into a wall. Izzy formally introduces himself like some nice guy, but then runs this dude's head across the wall. Izzy laughs the entire time like a crazy maniac, but Wesser tells him not to get too confident. Wesser manages to use a goo-like substance to stop Izzy from moving, and compliments Izzy on his bravery. With a very calm demeanor, Izzy starts breaking down their history. Ratten wants Wesser to hurry up and eliminate him, but Wesser tells this lady to quiet down and handle the rest of their opponents. Wesser wonders why Izzy didn't just take out Ratten, since he easily could have done it, but Izzy reveals that he wants to take his time with her. Izzy then shocks this guy when he knows exactly who they are. They are the demons born from the legend of the Piper of Hamelin. Legend states that 130 children lost their life. The method used to eliminate them itself turned into a spirit. There are several guesses as to what method was used, but no one knows which it was. The last part of the game contract about revealing the true legend really just means that they have to figure out the true cause of the incident in Hamelin in order to win. Wesser reveals that Izzy's assumptions are correct, so he takes his ghoul off of him. He explains that he isn't the Demon Lord, but it's time to fight, so Izzy charges at him. Letitia has entered the battle as well, but finds herself struggling against the Demon Lord Pest and her monster that looks like a giant tube of toothpaste. Pest has her monster called Strom attack, but she is shocked when Letitia transforms. Letitia manages to land a powerful attack, but the Demon Lord is unharmed. Pest prepares to make Letitia her pawn, but an immense power blasts a giant hole right through Strom. It's Sandora, and she states that she can't let such a dangerous being exist. Around town, some of the side characters try to calm everyone down. It's no use, however, as monsters appear to cause more chaos. Luckily for them, Aisha and Jack are nice guys now and save them. In the stands, Shiroyasha tells the others that she isn't allowed to participate in this gift game, so she wants them to pass on a message to Black Rabbit, who is the referee of the game. Shiroyasha explains that the rules and the objective of the game were intentionally written to have no real explanation, meaning that the game might be unwinnable. Secondly, the Demon Lord attacking the city belongs to a new community. But before she can reveal the final part, Ratten interrupts them. Ratten has her lizard people attack, but Yu shows off some surprising power in stopping them. The brains inside of Yu, Jin, and Asuka begin to feel immense pain, and they realize it's because Ratten is playing her flute. Ratten has the power to control humans and rats. She prepares to make them her pawns, but Asuka uses her power to command Jin to take Yu and run. Ratten attempts to go after them, but Asuka uses her ability once more to stop all the enemies. Ratten eventually turns her attention to Asuka. She forces her to the ground and plays with her long thin flute in a pretty weird way. Ratten kicks her into unconsciousness, which gets Shiroyasha really upset. Ratten looks forward to controlling Shiroyasha eventually, but for now turns her attention to the town. She puts the long flute in her mouth and blows on it, causing all the townspeople to fall under her control. Izzy realizes that it's the Piper of Hamelin, and Wesser explains that the game has only just begun. Chaos erupts everywhere as Rattan forces everyone to fight everyone else. However, just then, Black Rabbit calls out misconduct by the host's party and announces a pause to resolve the issue through a meeting. Seated around the table, Izzy points out that Jin spent a lot of time studying for this very moment. He tells the kid to remain composed as he sees this as a chance to reclaim their former glory. Wasting no time, Black Rabbit accuses Demon Lord Pest of misconduct. Pest denies cheating, but Black Rabbit reminds her that her big stupid looking bunny ears are connected to Little Garden's core, and she will be able to find out very quickly if she is lying. While Black Rabbit uses her ears to check, Mandra thinks that trapping Shiroyasha without a good reason is cheating enough. Black Rabbit's ears surprisingly reveal that there has been no misconduct in the current game. As if that wasn't bad enough, the seal on Shiroyasha was applied through acceptable means as well. Of course, the annoying little Demon Lord is pleased, but she surprisingly wants to continue the game on a different day. The maximum amount of time allowed to push the game out is an entire month, so that is what she wants. Jin finally grows a pair and interjects, revealing all the demons' names: Wesser, Rattan, Strom, and Pest. Everyone is shocked to hear that she is Pest, otherwise known as Black Death, human history's deadliest pandemic. Pest confirms his suspicion, but reveals that he is too late. She has already started incubating her lolly pathogens into some of the participants. The evil little Demon Lord has everyone's lives in her hands, but she makes them an offer. If everyone present joins her community, then she will spare the lives of the other communities. Rattan reveals that she captured Asuka, so they want her to join as well. Pest wants an answer and explains that it's seemingly a small price to pay for saving everyone's lives. Izzy might be reading her mind through the satellites on his head, as he correctly points out that Pest will eliminate them all if they refuse to join her. Outside, Yu, Aisha, Jack, and Lily tend to the wounded. Aisha was looking for Asuka, but there are no traces of her. Suddenly, Yu collapses, but can't figure out what's wrong with her own useless body. Elsewhere, we get a brief glimpse as Butterfinger tries to wake up Asuka. In the meeting room, Izzy puts all of Pest's business out there, as he deduces that they are desperate for members. Their little Hamlin community is new, so that is why they are trying to force them to join. It's all pretty pathetic, but Pest refuses to respond. Izzy then points out that the plague she has infected everyone with will end all their lives well before the game continues in 30 days. Pest decides to move it closer a couple days, but Mandra shocks everyone. He declares that anyone that is found to be infected will be eliminated, including himself and even Sandora. Izzy tries to negotiate the continuation of the game down to 3 days, but Pest quickly declines. Our boy Izzy might be using those gigantic headphones to keep his head from exploding from his giant brain because he shows his genius once again. He offers to add Black Rabbit to the list of people that will have to join her community, but only if they continue the game in 5 days. As Judge Master, Black Rabbit is unable to participate in the game. However, if they agree to let her join the game, then Pest will get a chance to win her. Pest lowers it to 10 days, but that isn't enough for our heroes. Jin negotiates further and offers to have the game end 24 hours after it starts again. If the players can't win by the end of the 24 hours, then Pest will win automatically. The only thing he asks for in return is that the game resumes in 7 days. That's just before they all fall victim to the plague. Pest wonders if they really think they can win against her, even if they somehow manage to survive that long. But she is shocked when Jin is confident they can. Pest finally agrees to the conditions and looks forward to making all these stupid fools into her puppets. In a cave, the little banana fairy finally manages to wake up Asuka. She stinks from not having showered in days and is shocked to see the giant armored thing from before. Little Butterfinger finally communicates with Asuka and tells her that the giant is a gift. It's from the Rotten Finger, who are grateful that she brought their final member back to them. They want her to put an end to the false fairy tale. The Rotten Fingers turn out to be the 130 spirits of the Hamlin victims, and they appear before her like lightning bugs. They offer their creation as a gift and promise to unveil the truth if she accepts it. They explain that if Asuka is able to master the gift, then it will surely bring her victory, so she accepts. All the little fairies are happy, and the giant armored thing comes to life. 4 days pass as more and more of the infected are starting to show symptoms. Rattan, placing her talents on Pest, proclaims a change in destiny, a lifetime of battles against various communities. This will ultimately lead to Pest's demise, but it is a fate shared by every Demon Lord. Still, Rattan and Wesser pledge their loyalty to Pest, acknowledging her as their only leader. Inside the palace, Yu wakes up and finally apologizes to Izzy for being so useless. He explains that while he has a plan in progress, he has yet to finalize the details. Izzy then deciphers the meanings behind the names. Rattan meaning rat in German, Strom meaning storm, Wesser representing the Wesser River, and Pest symbolizing the Black Plague. He reminds you about the parallel world intersection theory that Black Rabbit once told him about. It describes how certain events occur across different timelines, converging at a specific result. This time, the deaths of 130 children is the result. The main players are the 4 demons, but one of them isn't connected to the passing of the 130 children. Izzy predicts that Pest is the false legend since the Black Plague takes too long to claim someone's life, and that doesn't align with how the legend went. The only thing that needs to be solved is the part of the game's description that says shatter the false legend and reveal the truth. Izzy's only clue is the stained glass of Hamlin, scattered across the battlefield. Unfortunately, there are over 100 stained glass panels, and it would be a pain to shatter them all. Our boy gets frustrated, so Yu chuckles at the sight of Izzy losing his mind while looking so dumb. Izzy then updates her about how Shiroyasha is still trapped on the balcony, bored out of her mind. It turns out that Shiroyasha holds authority over the sun in the little garden. She commands things with the sun attribute, as well as the sun's operation. Izzy's genius brain gets activated, and he remembers why, in history, the Black Plague became so widespread. The sun entered an ice age period, so it couldn't stop the plague from spreading. DJ Sherlock deduces that Shiroyasha was sealed away, so she couldn't stop the plague with her ability to control the sun. He realizes that Pest and the others are imposters, not the true Piper of Hamlin. Izzy thanks Yu for doing literally nothing, and tells her to continue laying in bed being useless, while he goes to end this anime the right way. 7 days later, the game resumes. Jin instructs everyone to find the glass panes with the Joker controlling rats. They depict the false legend, so all the players need to destroy them. The demons are surprised that the players have figured out their riddle, but they are not worried since they could always take their lives if it comes to that. Pest has given Wesser divinity specifically for that purpose, and we see that this guy shines like a glow stick now. With no reason to hold back now, Pest activates the Grimoire of Hamlin. Day turns to night and everyone is shocked that the demons really summoned the city of Hamlin. The locations of the glass panes have changed, but Jin calms everyone down. The little runt is really taking charge now and tells everyone to look for a church, as that is where the glass will probably be. Izzy is proud of the little dweeb, but Wesser appears from nowhere to get his revenge. Wesser has divinity now, so he easily overpowers our boy. Izzy laughs at the glow stick, but Wesser reveals that on top of having divinity, his power doubles for being in his hometown. Izzy doesn't seem worried at all and goes in for a fight. Black Rabbit and Sandora pick a fight against Pest, but they can't even touch her and end up in trouble. The players end up finding the stained glass, but Rattan arrives to stop them from succeeding with their plan. She also has a bunch of Stroms with her, so Letitia tells Jin to do what he does best and take the others to run away. Rattan blows on her instrument to begin her attack, and Letitia stops her. Letitia could easily destroy all these fools, but she fears that innocent players will get caught in the crossfire. There are way too many Stroms though, so the players are surrounded. The players are about to be deleted from existence, but Asuka and her giant golem arrive to rescue them. Wesser, benefiting from home ground advantage and bolstered by Pest's divinity, gains immense power. He chases Izzy around town and smacks him around with his giant stick. Wesser becomes the first in Little Garden to land multiple hits on Izzy, even drawing blood. Their clash halts as Izzy unveils his knowledge of history. The true Piper of Hamlin is Wesser, and the other 3 demons are just imposters. After recognizing the Joker and rats from the stained glass appearing much later in the legend, Izzy concludes that Wesser is the original life taker of the 130 children. Impressed, Wesser invites Izzy to join the Demon Lords, acknowledging that his talents are wasted among the no-names. Izzy admits that the offer does sound fun, but he has big dreams between his giant headphones. He wants to achieve his goals and declines the Demon Lord's offer. Wesser is disappointed to hear this and unleashes insane amounts of power. He proclaims that it's time for Izzy's life to end and the two clash. In the city, Rattan is glad to see Asuka again and calls Little Rotten Finger a pretender. Asuka's giant golem is called Dean, and she instructs it to take down the Strom. Dean has some serious power as it punches right through several Strom. The Strom have terrifying power as well, but Dean handles them easily. Rattan tries to take it into her own hands, but this dummy only ends up getting caught. Asuka tells Dean to stop before he crushes Rattan and her huge talents. Asuka doesn't feel like she has gotten enough revenge yet, so she offers to play a game with Rattan. She will allow Rattan to play one song. If she is able to take control of Dean, then she will win. Rattan has the perfect song just for this moment and does what she does best, blow air into a tube. Elsewhere, Sandora and Black Rabbit engage in combat with Pest. Amidst the battle, Black Rabbit reveals that Izzy told her everything. Pest is not a demon, she is a deity. She doesn't actually get her power from the 130 children that lost their lives. Pest actually gets her power from those who passed in the ravaging plague in the 14th to 17th centuries. 80 million people lost their lives during that time, and Pest represents their evil spirits. She is the embodiment of their malice and resentment. Pest then discloses her true intentions. She is seeking revenge on the sun for withdrawing its heat, causing the Earth's ice age, and enabling the Black Plague to claim 80 million lives. For this reason, she aims to end Shiroyasha's life. Pest gets furious and declares that it's time to have some fun before time is up. Back with Izzy, Weser is still showing his massive strength by easily blocking Izzy and even pushing him back. Weser can tell that something is wrong and is shocked when Izzy says that he's getting bored. Izzy can tell that Weser is holding back and is hiding his ace up his sleeve. Weser finally agrees to show him, and our boy Izzy gets hyped as he might have finally found the cure to his endless boredom. Weser eventually finishes doing his little twirly move and the two clash again. Inside the city, Rattan plays a captivating tune but fails to control Dean. Asuka is seriously a jerk as she claps sarcastically at her pitiful failure of a performance. Asuka then gets serious as she credits her efforts, but Rattan acknowledges that she has lost. Rattan reveals that she was going to lose either way, as the last hit she received was a fatal one. Rattan says goodbye and her body fades away, only leaving her legendary long thin instrument behind. The fight is over, so Asuka tells Dean to prepare to defeat a demon lord. Back at Izzy's fight, Weser can only wonder if Izzy is really just a human, but Izzy isn't even sure. Our boy Izzy is just ready for round 2, but Weser reveals that he can no longer fight as his weapon is more broken than my sleeping schedule. Weser begins to fade away and blames himself for getting provoked by Izzy. Izzy makes this dude feel better about disappearing forever and explains that he had a lot of fun. No one has ever been able to even come close to fighting him head on until he came along. Their little bro moment ends and Weser says goodbye as he gets deleted from life. Pest senses that her servants have been defeated and decides that she is done waiting for the 24 hours to end. Instead, she will take Shiroyasha and massacre everyone. She releases a terrifying fog and everyone in town rushes to find safety. Some unfortunate souls fall victim to this fog, and Pest reveals that anyone that it touches instantly loses their lives. Black Rabbit rushes off to rescue some little nerd, but she realizes that she won't make it in time. Luckily for her, Yu manages to make up for being completely useless this entire anime and arrives at the kid's side. However, in typical Yu fashion, that's all she manages to do as she has no plan on how to escape. Luckily for her, Asuka appears out of nowhere with her giant. Black Rabbit is too distracted to realize that she is being attacked, but Izzy arrives to save her. Izzy turns his attention to the evil Lolly and sends her flying. Pest isn't fazed at all, but Black Rabbit reveals that she has a plan. Izzy rushes in to attack Pest, but she scoffs at him for thinking he could do anything with his arm that is more broken than my diet. Izzy couldn't care less and continues attacking anyway. Sandora backs him up, and Black Rabbit tells Asuka that they are all counting on her. Black Rabbit joins the fight, but Pest handles her easily and tells her that she just wasn't good enough to change the outcome of the fight. Izzy pushes her back, but this just upsets her, and she uses a powerful attack on them. Pest prepares to finish them all off at once, and Izzy can tell that the people in town won't be able to survive the attack. Luckily, Black Rabbit reveals that her plan is ready. She activates a card and shocks Pest when they are all teleported to a moon palace. Pest is furious that she has been taken so far away from Hamlin's grimoire and prepares an attack. Black Rabbit stops it, and Pest realizes that she is using the power of the sun. Izzy lands an attack, but Pest is still certain that she won't lose. Black Rabbit's plan isn't over yet as she calls out to Asuka, who somehow managed to hide with her giant golem. A look back shows that Black Rabbit told Asuka that she has the power to bring out a gift's true potential. She gave Asuka a gift card called the Spear of Indra, so Asuka uses it now on the moon. Pest laughs at these idiots since she plans to simply dodge the spear, but she quickly finds out that she is the real fool. Sandora holds her in place with her flames, and Asuka has Dean launch the spear. The massive spear collides with Pest, sending her flying, and the little lolly explodes into a million pieces. Afterwards, Shiroyasha thanks all the townspeople for fighting courageously, and Sandora announces their victory over the Demon Lord. Asuka returns to the cave and says goodbye to all the little fairies. The little spirits of the 130 children explain that they will be going back in time to before they were all brutally massacred. The spirits trust Asuka very much, so they decide to leave both Dean and Butterfinger with her. Asuka names the little banana Murin and officially makes her a member of the No Names. Later, Izzy confronts Mandra. Izzy figured out that Thousand Eyes and Mandra were the ones that invited the Demon Lord. The Demon Lords brought in over 100 pieces of stained glass, so they would have to be stupid not to have noticed. Izzy knows that they did this because if Sandora managed to defeat the Demon Lords, then she would instantly earn the respect of all the communities. Izzy emphasizes their luck as only Salamandra members lost their lives. Any loss among his friends would have provoked his wrath against Sandora. Mandra gets terrified by this threat and reveals that everyone except Sandora knew about this dangerous plan. Mandra tells Izzy that he doesn't know what it's like having to defend a community's honor, but he has been caught and tells Izzy to do what he must. His only request is that Izzy limits his terrifying permanent headphone-wearing wrath to only taking his life. Izzy determines that the people that lost their lives knew what they were getting into, so he will let it slide. Before he leaves, Izzy explains that they're going to keep fighting more Demon Lords no matter what. However, if they ever need help, then Mandra better be the first to come and help them. Back on the No Names land, all the little parentless children get upset that they won't be able to revitalize the land there. Our boy Izzy comes through one last time though, and comes up with a plan to have crops grown there. The kids celebrate but don't even realize that they're going to be worked like slaves because of this. Izzy decides to join in on the fun, but is surprised to see another mysterious letter fall from the sky. Thanks for watching this full season recap. Sign up to my free newsletter if you want to show some support to the channel, link is in the description.